Before I get started, please understand that my own human belief systems, restrictions, because belief systems can be restrictive, judgments are restrictive, all of these things are not present when I am making contact with a spirit, and that spirit is letting me know what's going on with their soul and where they are and what's going, I am generally like a no judgment zone person. I wasn't raised to be. So I get quite existential with, I'm existential just generally, philosophizing and just being in that realm where I separate myself from this 3D reality a lot. And that actually allows me the freedom to truly see what happens to us when we die, things like that. What happens to us? One of the things that I've learned through my work with spirit and through the teachings of many, many people who've also worked with spirit is that we all end up in the light. At the end of the day, we all end up in the light. None of us are left out, no matter what we did on earth. None of us are excluded. And yes, that means that horrible, horrible, horrible people in history, people who have committed terrible crimes, have all made it to the light or will make it to the light eventually. And what does that depend on? That depends on their own rehabilitation process as a soul. You have to go through a rehabilitation process. You have to be aware that the light even exists in order to see it and to yearn for it and to go towards it and be embraced by it ultimately. But it's always there for you. And what I've learned through one of my spirit guides in particular, I have understood through his own death process exactly what happens. And it basically, if you think that there's nothing after death, you'll see nothing. If you think that you're going to hell and you believe that, and that's part of your belief system, then you will actually manifest that fiery hell or whatever it is that you've imagined. And you can actually like live there. I mean, you can be there, but you're always going to have beings of the light trying for you to get you started on a path towards the light. There are always going to be people that do that. And what I've come to understand too is that we judge too much, and our judgments are actually like really. I don't mean this wrong wrong in like a oh, that's so wrong to do that. I mean it's like incorrect. Like you're actually incorrect about it. And that means that what we want to believe happens to someone ties fully into our own set of belief systems. Okay? But that's not the true reality. And you have to really think outside of your own belief systems in order to understand the true reality. Part of the true reality is that We're eternal. We never stop. We are always incarnating. Time is not linear. It's piled up on top of itself, and that we are having past, present, and future lives simultaneously. But I wanted to talk about something today that I'm passionate about, which is I want to take this as an example, okay? Very big in the media is the Gabby Petito and Brian Laundrie case. We've just discovered that Brian Laundrie had his body was, well, part of his skull and bones were recovered in the Myakkahatchee Park. They're connected to the Carlton Reserve in Florida. So when it took me a little while to connect with him, but I did, because I can't connect with things that are not standing in source, love, and light. And why that is because I'm fully protected, and I set a lot of boundaries around myself when I'm working with spirit. So nothing that is of a denser vibration is allowed to come through, because I don't allow it, and all of my spirit guides and angels do not allow that either. I only work with high vibrational beings. That means that I can only connect with them if they are standing in the light, okay? So there was no way for me to make any kind of connection with him if he wasn't standing in some sort of, if he hadn't made some progress on his soul journey, okay? So, and that being said, like, it definitely took him a while. And he died pretty early on. He told me he died on September 16th. And he did, in fact, kill himself in that park. His body, big portion of his body was eaten by alligators. I do feel like probably scraps and things were eaten by, like, you know, other things in the water, or like birds, something like that. But anyway, I know that, like, he's made a connection. I asked him if he and Gabby made amends, if they understood their spiritual contract, because this was a spiritual contract. And yes, they have, and they are moving along. Their story and what happened, okay, is for a bigger reason. It is for a worldly awakening to really truly seeing other people, looking into other people deeply, especially your children, okay? And it is also about bringing awareness of domestic abuse, okay? So these are major lessons, okay, that can come out of tragedy. So the souls of these people made an impact in the world. They're not damned. He isn't damned. He isn't doomed. He isn't in hell. He isn't, it's no. And I very well could be going out on a limb here, but I feel as though I needed to express this, because I've come across a lot of videos recently where people are saying this to be true, that he's in the dark place, that he's in hell, that he's burning. And these are what people want to believe is happening to Brian Laundrie, because he committed a horrific crime. He killed his girlfriend, and she was innocent, and she was America's, she was everybody's daughter, everybody's best friend, everybody's sister. But I'm asking you to open your minds and expand your awareness here, because we all do things in life that aren't necessarily positive. We don't all commit crimes like that, certainly, but we're all in a greater understanding about the decisions we make, the choices we make, and how it ultimately leads to things when we pass away, when we are outside of the body. We go through something called a life review, and we understand a lot more when we do that. And I think it took Brian Laundrie a significant amount of time. And I think he's had a significant amount of time being out of the body. Probably, a little over a month or so. But since he was discovered, since I made contact with him. So in that time, there has been a lot of growth, but he's still in his rehabilitation, because even when I was connecting with him, he was kept at a little bit of a distance from me, which shows me that he could have affected my four bodies, my physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual bodies in a negative way, or in a way that would not harm me, but like affect me and maybe drain me a little bit. I don't know. But there was a distance, okay, and it needed to be there. So he's got a lot further to go, but he's not in hell, because hell doesn't exist. It only exists if you believe it exists. And even then, your beliefs change once you cross over. They can change once you cross over. It's not a magical snap your fingers and once you die, you know everything. You have to learn over there just like you learn here. So we have to shed our 3D, persona as the person we are in this meat suit. We have to shed it when we go over there, and we have to immerse ourselves in our true form, which it basically is just energy. And as beings of the light. So we all have an opportunity to be in the light. So I'm somebody who crosses spirits over when I sleep. And I go right up to the line with them and cross them over, because there are a lot of earthbound spirits that need help. There are a lot of people that need help, that don't know where to go, that have very strong belief systems and feel that they're doomed. And then they stay in this kind of dark, black room. And I'll find them and I'll bring them to where, if they're ready to, I just sit where they are, and I basically let them lead me towards it. But it's a pretty crazy experience. When I wake up in the morning, I'm usually exhausted. But anyway, I just wanted to put this out there. And if you guys don't agree, it's fine. But this is something that I really wanted to express, because I don't share the same beliefs as everybody else about what we all are, or where we go, or how it happens, or what happens, or how everything that occurs in life is basically purposeful in some way, shape, or form. So yeah, rest in peace, obviously, to Gabby Petito. She did not deserve to die. She did not deserve to die. But she did, and she's a sacrificial lamb in a way. She is going to be a beacon of light for many, many women, men, anybody who is in a domestic violence situation, or in a toxic relationship, or an abusive relationship. So I'm amazed by her. So, all right. Thanks for listening. Bye.